Some big news for Ukraine today ahead of a highly anticipated counteroffensive against Russian forces. Sources telling CNN the UK now delivering long-range stealth cruise missiles. The urgency of that counteroffensive brought into focus by Donald Trump's town hall last night. He would not commit to supporting Ukraine if he wins the presidency again.
Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying. They're dying, Russians and Ukrainians. I want them to stop dying. And I'll have that done. I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. You need the power of the presidency to do it.
Let's go live to CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh. He's live in Zaporizhia for us. Nick, the UK providing some critical new weapons. President Zelensky in an interview at the BBC saying the counteroffensive will be soon but not quite ready. Where are we on the ground?
Yeah, certainly Ukraine's been clear from the start of what we've seen to be most likely preparatory work for this counter-offensive, that it isn't going to blow the bugle and suddenly declare the counter-offensive as having begun, although President Zelensky somehow providing a timetable, really saying it hasn't started yet, and essentially using that sense of a delay, whether it is the reality or not, to put more pressure on Western nations to speed up their delivery of weapons promised, or even bring more. Britain today offering a longer-range missile capacity that's already apparently in Ukrainian hands, enabling them to strike deep inside Crimea, John. But really, what you heard there from former President Donald Trump is, I think, going to ring certainly loudly here in Ukraine. President Zelensky, not speaking directly to those comments, but in an interview with the BBC, saying that when asked about the presidential elections next year, saying that they don't really know where they'll be by then, and he will be confident of victory. But I think there's a sense of two things here, certainly. It shouldn't be really a particularly difficult question for Donald Trump to answer, you might think, particularly given the position of so many of his Republican colleagues staunchly in support of Ukraine, yet still that enduring possible sympathy for Russia in the background. He called Vladimir Putin a smart man who'd made a mistake. But when you hear people talk about a settlement here in Ukraine, it sounds often like some kind of diplomacy that would formalize or stabilize the positions Russia's taken in occupied territories here ahead of this counter-offensive. Ukraine feeling the pressure definitely to push forward, to remove parts held currently by occupying forces. And it's important also to point out, though, that we are dealing in a relatively limited time frame. Western democracies' policies are not always permanent. They change. That's the point of a democracy. And I think many recognise here that the consistency of Western support for Ukraine is to some degree an outlier. It isn't going to last forever. And that makes results by Ukraine this summer so much more important, John.
Months, weeks and months ahead in Ukraine urgent, and maybe all the more so because of the potential here in the United States. Nick Payton-Walsh, grateful for the live report from Zaporizhia. Thank you and your crew. Let's bring the conversation back in the room with our reporters. And Zelensky, again, it was before the town hall, but he says he'll win before the election. Trump last night not only wouldn't take sides, a dictator invaded a democracy. And the former president of the United States and perhaps future Republican candidate for president of the United States won't take sides. Wouldn't call Putin a war criminal. I want you to listen to Senator Todd Young of Indiana. This is this morning. He's a Republican, and this is the divide in the Republican Party. Ronald Reagan's Republican Party, pretty clear. Donald Trump's Republican Party, why is it a priority?
President Trump's judgment is wrong in this case. President Putin and his government have engaged in war crimes.
Does it worry you that your party's leading presidential candidate is
advanced? Of
advanced?
course it does. That's why I don't intend to support him for the Republican nomination.
There are a number of issues on which the party has gone almost completely Trump's way. This one is a live ball, if you will. I don't mean to make sport out of an issue like war, but this is a live debate within the Republican Party. Chris Christie, a potential candidate, last night criticized Trump on this. We can show you his tweet. Donald Trump says he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours tonight, despite how ridiculous that is to say. You try to do it by turning Ukraine. He calls him Putin's puppet. Again, Asa Hutchinson, who is a declared candidate, also criticized Trump on this. This will be an active debate throughout the primaries.
Yeah, I mean, this has been an active debate on Capitol Hill, too, about how much funding Republicans are going to be willing to continue giving. And, you know, you see a lot more Republicans in the U.S. Senate arguing that it is important, imperative. I mean, Mitch McConnell has been on the front lines of this issue in terms of fighting for funding for Ukraine. But when it comes to the presidential election, that is where this gets decided, because a lot of lawmakers take their cues from their party leaders. And a lot of House Republicans believe Trump's their leader. So you start to hear them talking like Trump.
This was the single most shocking revelation to me of the town hall last night. People are dying because Russia invaded a sovereign nation and killed women and children in cancer hospitals and hiding under bridges. And it is, I know the show's called Inside Politics, so we're talking about politics here, but it's actually the bedrock of American democracy that if a sovereign nation is invaded by a dictatorial or autocratic regime, you would be on the side of the sovereign nation. You can have a debate about how long and how much funding and how much involvement. There's not really any debate in Western democracy about who's in the right and who's in the wrong. Not taking a side is taking a side. And the only way to end that war in 24 hours is to pull all U.S. aid.
Right, and to give Putin the victory. The Wall Street Journal talking about this, in its Wall Street, European capitals have overwhelmingly said they would take their lead from the United States, making decisions made in Washington about the level of support decisive to their approaches. America folds, we fold. A German official. This is a giant issue. Again, yes, it costs a lot of money. Yes, people say that money should be spent at home. But if Putin gets Ukraine, what's next? America's supposed to stand for democracy, or at least traditionally it has. Donald Trump says his view of America first is maybe not.
And it comes at a time where right now the White House has been still trying to hold on to the support of not just European allies, but also the American people while maintaining support in Congress. You have to wonder, when statements like this are made by the leading candidate of a political party, will there be ripple effects as well throughout the rest of the country at a time where that foreign aid is pivotal?